There is finally a new finance deal on the Norton Commando, except this time it's quite a bit more than 69 quid. So yeah, as you might have remembered from tail end of last year into early 2025, you could get one of these for £69 down, £69 a month. The new finance deal is a bit more than that. This one actually I got for even less. This one I got for £20 a month and £20 down, which yeah, was actually a bit of an error because it was used and yeah, it wasn't supposed to have the 0% deal apply to it, whatever. Anyway, new deal, let's get straight into the figures. So firstly for the 961 SP, now you are looking at £961 down. See what I did there, because it's a 961, so £961 down. This time, this is the interesting bit, the Norton deposit contribution is only £2,000. I think last time it was about 3.5. Also, it's no longer 0% interest, it's now 5% interest, and you're going to be doing 23 monthly payments of £159. So yeah, after the 2 years is up, you then have the final payment, which is £11,800. So that's actually quite similar. So for the credit, you are paying £1,258. There's still a 2,000 mile limit, but it's only 10 PMR to exceed it. So it's only going to cost you an extra 100 quid to add an extra 1,000 miles, or 200 to add 2,000 miles. So don't think you need to get too caught up in that. So if you were to keep it for a couple of years and hand it back, which is what I fully intend to do with this, and I know that's what a lot of people were doing with the £69 deal, it's going to cost you quite a bit more. So some people did actually pay less than 69 down, 69 a month on new bikes, but let's say that's what you are paying. That means over 2 years, you're going to be paying about 1,700 quid. Now it's actually going to be more like 4,618. Hopefully I've worked that out right. Suddenly it doesn't become a, well, I might as well. That's more of a thing you've got to weigh up. And then if you put that much in, you might then be more tempted to yeah, put the full lot down at the end of it. As far as PCP deals go right now, I think it is still actually pretty good value for money. It's just, I think, in comparison to £69 a month, it kind of seems a bit underwhelming. So what I have done as well is I've looked up, try and find something comparable to just put it in some sort of context. So if, for example, if you go to Triumph, I couldn't actually find a 24-month deal on a Triumph, but on the new Speed Twin 1200 RS, you can do a 3-year deal, which is £5,250 down. So already you're more than you're paying in the 2 years that you've got the Norton for. And then it's 36 monthly payments of £61.10. And we've got an optional payment of £9,200-ish. The APR on that is 7.9, so higher interest, longer loan. Obviously that means more credit as well, £2,163. Obviously it's a bit apples and oranges because you've got a 24-month deal and a 36-month deal, but hopefully that puts it in some sort of context and you can work out if that means this is good value. Well, not this, but another one. So what I think I'll do now, because that's more than enough time for anyone to look at my face, is have a ride on my one, which yeah, cost me a bit less than that, and tell you what it's like to ride, and you can decide for yourself if you want to go for one of these new deals. So this is what you can expect for your, well, 4,600 quid or whatever it was for a couple of years. I should say the Cafe Racer version, the figures you've seen so far are for the Sport or the SP. The Cafe Racer is a bit more, the CR. I'll put the figures up on the screen now. But yeah, so I know I compared it earlier to the Speed Twin RS, but this is a very different kind of bike. It is similar in terms of the fact that it's a modern classic motorbike with top drawer, lovely suspension. In this case, it's Öhlins, good brakes. So it's similar in that regard, but the Speed Twin RS is a bike that's got a 6-axis IMU, it's got traction control, it's got a liquid-cooled engine. Well, I know it's got those, air-cooled-ish fins on them, but yeah, it's predominantly a liquid-cooled engine. This is a lot more old school. It's got a push-rod, air-cooled engine. It is not very refined at all. It is lumpy, it is vibey. Only got a 5-speed gearbox, but that's the charm. This isn't a bike I don't think you're going to do mega miles on, as evidenced by the fact that I've only done a few hundred on mine so far. In terms of doing big distances, it plays second fiddle to other bikes I've got, like my Triumph Sprint, which I've just sold, and also I've got a Multistrada 950, which that's the mile muncher. This is much like today. It's a nice evening, well, it was until the sun went back in, and you just fancy a cruise. No, it's not quick. It's only got about 80 horsepower, and I keep doing that, trying to shift into 6th when there isn't a 6th, and there's lots of things that are quite annoying about it. One of them being these mirrors, which are a bit cheap and crappy, and those indicators, which are a bit cheap and crappy. But mostly the finishing on it is gorgeous. It's just a bike you want to kind of look at. It just happens that if you go and ride it, it feels very, very nice. Yeah, I will be doing a more detailed, I guess you call it, review once I've done a few hundred more miles on it. So I've got, you know, I might as well get a good impression of it before I blather on about it anymore. Get it past the full running in point. There's an initial 300-mile running in point which I'm past, and then there's another 300 miles, and then 600. That's where, you know, you can kind of do as you please. I'll also have it serviced before then as well. That's thing to bear in mind, actually. You are going to have to get it serviced at Norton. That, I think, for the first service is 300 quid or thereabouts. It does vary depending on the dealer. And yeah, the second service I gather is about 250. So yeah, the first one's at 500 miles, and it's every year after that. So in that 2-year period, yeah, you're going to be on the hook for 2 services. But yeah, for a bit of a background about this bike, I went into Judd Racing in Nottingham a few days after Christmas, I think it was, fully intending to walk away, having signed up to a PCP on the 69 quid, £69 down, 69 a month deal, because I thought, yeah, great deal. I can have one for 2 years for about 700 quid, hand it back, happy days. And then they showed me a used bike, which, yeah, they only done 125 miles, so, you know, not even run in. And that, they'd applied the 0% deal to it, which meant that the monthly payments went down to 20 quid, and the deposit went down to 20 quid as well. Now that was actually a mistake. I was never supposed to get this bike for that amount, but by the time the mistake was realised, it was too late. I'd signed the paperwork, and that means it's only going to cost me 500 quid to run this for, well, not just that, but yeah, in terms of the PCP on its own, the cost to me is 500 quid over 2 years. I'm not going to pay the balloon payment because it's like 12 grand. I'm just going to hand it back. But yeah, so that's then a tenth of what you'd pay on the new deal. So yeah, but yeah, so you're not going to get that deal. You're not going to get a fancy deal like this on one now. It's just not going to happen. So sadly, yeah. So sadly, bit of a one-off. I say a one-off. I think one other person did manage to get one for 20 quid a month. Some people got new bikes for only about 50 quid a month. So yeah, again, they're paying probably only about 1,500 quid or so to own one of these for 2 years. Well, I say own, obviously you are technically not owning it, it's a PCP, blah blah blah, but hey, it's in your garage for 2 years, you can ride it whenever you want. Really, you can ride it as far as you want, you've just got to pay an extra 10p a mile. Although weirdly, the finance terms that I've got list the excess mileage fee as 0p per mile, so yeah, that's a weird one. But to be honest, I've got other bikes. I do occasionally ride press bikes as well, so I don't think I'll be troubling that anyway. Yeah, it's simple, but you've got really nice and plush feeling suspension. You've got brakes that actually do something when you squeeze a lever, although you do have a bit of a dead spot, which kind of annoys me a little bit. But yeah, in terms of the handling, it's a really nicely sorted bike, and you've got massively characterful engine. Yeah, I like it a lot. For 500 quid, it was a no-brainer. For 1,700 quid for 2 years as well, no-brainer. I was very close to signing up to one for that amount before I saw the used bike. For 4,600, that's a bit of a harder sell. And like I said, I think once you put that much money in, you're probably going to be thinking at the end of it, okay, should I now pay the balloon payment? And then, you know, you're going to be 18.5 grand down. So suddenly, it's a much bigger commitment. Whereas obviously someone like me or someone who's on the £69 deal, they can then, you know, hand this back at the end, as long as the bike's in good condition and only fair wear and tear, not have to pay anything else, and then probably go out and buy a used one, I should think, for quite a bit less, because suddenly there's going to be quite a few, I'd have thought, appearing in the marketplace around that time. But as to why Norton was so keen to do that deal earlier in the year, it's difficult to say. I think some people said, well, it's clearly to shift stock, but I don't think that's really the case, because a lot of people are only just getting their bikes now because they were built to order. It wasn't just bikes that were in stock. I mean, I know there are supposed to be some new bikes coming from Norton. Yeah, so by doing this, it keeps the factory busy, I guess. keeps things ticking over, keeps people, gets new people into the dealer network for stuff like servicing. So yeah, perhaps it's just down to that. I don't know. I did ask Norton's PR department for an answer to say, you know, what's the thinking behind this? What's the commercial strategy? I've never actually got an answer. I'm wanting to nudge them on that front. So yeah, but I don't know why they did it. But obviously, for a lot of people, it's great news because they've got one for not much at all. And the new deal, yeah, I think as far as PCPs go, it is still pretty good. The problem is, we've just seen that previous deal, and in comparison, you might be a bit underwhelmed. So yeah, that's it basically. I probably rambled on for long enough. I've got a couple of videos that I did on the deal I got, which you can watch. I'll try and link one at the end of the video. If you stumbled across this video and have no idea who I am, but for some reason want to watch more videos, please do subscribe. As well as this, I've got a bit of a thing for buying cheap bikes off a Facebook Marketplace, even though I probably shouldn't. If you like that sort of thing, and you know, like just sort of looking at the cheaper, looking at motorbike bargains, that kind of stuff, please do consider subscribing and like this video, because yeah, why not?